the Italian Football Podcast.
Let's talk about Italy's World Cup 2026 qualifying group now, because Italy's group is now known. If they'd have won this game against this tie against Germany, they would have been in Group A with Slovakia, Northern Ireland, and Luxembourg. But they lost, so they now go into Group I with Norway, Moldova, Estonia, and another team, and that means that they've got an extra team in their group. Let me read through the fixtures. Actually, let's go through and tell everybody what our schedule is, because it's very important, the schedule, because we now play our first qualifiers in June. 2 qualifiers at the start of June, whereas if we'd have won this tie, we would have started in September. So if we go to, let me get the group up, UEFA Groups 2026 World Cup qualifiers. So let's go down to Group I, and we have our first game is the big one. It's against the best team in the group. It's the team that we're going to fight against for first place, and that is Norway. Norway on the 6th of June away in Oslo. Then we play against Moldova on the 9th of June. Then we play against the team we won't name away, in Hungary on the 8th of September. Then we play away at Estonia on the 11th of October. Then we play on the 14th of October at home against the team we won't name. Then we play away at Moldova 13th of November in our penultimate game away. And then our final game is against Norway at home. So that is our schedule. Now, how to qualify? The top team qualifies for the World Cup automatically. But second place only qualifies for the playoffs, where if we were to finish second, we would play in a one-legged semi-final at home because of our seeding, then a one-legged final, which will be drawn if it's home and away, so home or away. So it could be away. If everybody remembers that we played Macedonia in the playoffs last time, and if we'd have won that game, we would have played Portugal away in the final, which we'd have had to win to qualify. As it happened, we lost to Macedonia, so we didn't even get to the final. So it's not easy once you get to that playoff stage. I'm very critical of this format, Nima. I think it's ridiculous that we've got a World Cup that has expanded from 32 teams to 48 teams, 16 extra teams, but it's actually not really no easier to qualify from Europe than it was before, because still it's only one team. It's still like the last time. It's still only one team that qualifies from the group, and the other team then has to go through a semi-final, one-legged semi, and a one-legged final, which is one-off games. It's anything can happen in one-off games. It'd be better as a two-legged game, so you risk, if you don't finish top of your group, you really do risk not qualifying for the World Cup, and I think that's ridiculous. That the 16 extra teams, and it's still no easier. But anyway, goal difference separates teams level on points. So if we finish level with Norway, it will come to goal difference. And let me just tell you that Norway have already played their first game, and they've got another game tomorrow. Norway won 5-0 away at Moldova. So they're already looking really good for their goal difference. By the time they play us, they'll probably have 6 points. You'd imagine they'll have 6 points. And then we play them on the 6th of June. That game immediately becomes absolutely huge for Italy, whether they're going to qualify for the World Cup. Because if Italy lose that game to Norway, then we're looking at Norway probably with 9 points already from 3 games. We have 0 points after 1 game. We're massively playing catch-up. Because the other teams in this group are all pretty weak, the chances of Norway dropping points after that are very, very slim, let's say. So Italy will basically have to win probably every single game in the group, take it to that very last game against Norway at home, and even then, a win might not be enough because it will come to goal difference. They might even have to get a big win at home to Norway to qualify. So the bottom line is this, Nima. That first game away to Norway is massive.
Italy can't lose that game. They have to draw that minimum. And it's that simple. Italy need four points from those games. Very, very simply put. Don't worry about the goal difference. You need to draw Norway away and beat Norway at home, and then do your job against the others. It's very, very simple.
Mm.
It's,
Simple,
it's
yeah.
really, really that simple. And looking at Estonia and Moldova, I'm sorry, like if Italy can't beat those teams, what are we even doing here? I'm sorry, like literally, Estonia, Moldova, home and away, that's 12 points. You have to win those. I don't care about 6-0, 5-0, whatever. That's just win those games. And 4 points against Norway. That's the key. And then you're through. And to be honest, Norway are a decent side. Yes, Haaland is great. Sørloth is great. Ødegaard is fantastic. I mean, they do have a decent side, Norway. They do have a golden generation. Speaking of terms I absolutely hate in football. But they do have a golden generation, and Norway should be able to qualify for a tournament soon with this much quality in the squad. So it's going to be tough for Italy against Norway, absolutely. But yeah, it's. But looking at it overall, I'm sorry. Of course, Italy should go through. I mean, what are we doing here? And even if they finish second, they'll play a one-legged home and away against other teams that have finished like top of their Nations League groups that haven't already qualified for Europe. So qualified for the World Cup, which means you can remove all the top teams anyway, right? So Italy have to qualify, and if they don't, I don't know what to tell you.
Listen. I mean, first of all, Norway is going to be difficult. I mean, they're a team of giants to start with.
Yeah.
I mean, as you would kind of imagine, Haaland, Sørloth. I mean, these guys are like 6'4", 6'5". They've got other big guys as well. What's his name? The centre back that used to play for Napoli, Ødegaard, who's brilliant in the air. Like one of the best players. It was one of the best players in Serie A in the air. Not so strong in other areas, but brilliant in the air. With an Italy team that aerially have been a disaster on crosses and set pieces. I mean, yeah, and that's our next game. Odegaard there too, of course. They've got some other youngsters. It's going to be a very difficult game. That first game is massive, like you said. Have to avoid a draw. I want to ask the question though, and Spalletti was asked this after the game against Germany. He was asked by a journalist, should he bring back Francesco Acerbi at least for that game against Norway, given that Acerbi has completely pocketed Erling Haaland in not one but two games, Champions League final, and then again at the start of this season. Assuming he's fit, Nima, would you agree with bringing back Acerbi, not just for Haaland, but also to bring some blimmin' organisation and some leadership into that defence?
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that if Acerbi, but if Acerbi is fit, I mean, he's been great since coming back. But then again, at that age, you really don't know, because that's when your body starts going, and he's done fantastically recovering and the level he plays at. So I think it's a big, it's a big risk. Put it to you that way.
We're talking one game here, aren't we? We're not talking about
but we don't even know
tournament or whatever.
No, I get that. I think I'm just saying, yes, if Acerbi is fit, then absolutely. We've seen him pocket Haaland and many better than him even before. And he gives stability, and he's calm. He's got leadership. He's got character. He leads by example. But I think it's a long way away. I think the problems that Italy have are, as we said, they're tactical, they're technical, there's no structure. Those are issues he needs to resolve, regardless of if Acerbi is available in September or October.
Sure, there's lots of things he needs to resolve. There's no doubt about that. But I just think that Italy's biggest problem defensively right now is they can't defend set pieces, they can't defend crosses, and they have no organisation in defence. And I think Acerbi will massively help in all those areas. And when you've got a game like Norway, where if you lose that game, there is the real possibility that that's top first place could be gone just by losing that game, and then you're talking about a playoff and potentially not qualifying for the World Cup again. I mean, I think you call him up, providing he's fit.
Well, of course, like I said, if he's fit and he's still playing and he hasn't retired, then yeah. But again, you don't know.
Spalletti basically said no, though. So I mean, I guess he's got to say that because he doesn't want to kill his own players that are there at the moment. But I think, I think when we get closer to the time, I hope that he will change his mind and call him up. Just before we finish, though, kind of our squad. We've talked about Acerbi, but what other players that were kind of in this squad do you believe shouldn't be kind of a part going forward? And which players that were not part of this squad, should we be looking to use more ahead of this World Cup qualifying campaign?
I mean, I think Dimarco and Retegui for sure. They're going to definitely be back. And they should be back. They were, it was down to injury more than anything. And as for, I just don't think looking at how he has performed so far, I just don't think Maldini should be in the squad. I don't think he has any business there at all. I think Lorenzo Luca, Keane, Retegui, Raspadori, Politano, I'd also call up. I think it was nice to see Casadei just, being shown the ropes a little bit. I like, there are young. I think Bellanova needs to show more at Atalanta, and because I don't think he was good enough in this call up either.
No.
But overall, I think I like that Comuzzo. I like Comuzzo. I'd like to see him, see what we can do with him, because I think he's kind of a more old school central defender in the sense that he's more defender than he's going forward. As the goalkeepers, I don't think Vicario and Meret deserve call-ups. I think it should be Di Gregorio, and Carnesecchi. Those are my two I would have up. But overall, I think lots of those things will handle themselves. I think Dimarco and Retegui, when they're back from injury, will be called up. They have to be. And then we'll have to wait and see what happens with Acerbi. And if Spalletti,
I think Cambiasso comes back obviously as well, adding to the ones to Dimarco and Retegui that you said. The problem is, if you look at our squad that were called up for these games, is the alternatives. We just really don't have many alternatives, unfortunately. So even if we say yes, Maldini, he hasn't warranted the call up, well, kind of like, well, who are the other options? I mean, other than Retegui, obviously, that will come in. We're talking Zaniolo, Chiesa, had about 300 minutes at Liverpool this season. Scamacca maybe once he gets fit again, but that's a long way. Long way for him to go. And then who are the other players? I mean, there just isn't the options. Or Salini, El Shaarawy. I mean, these are the options we've got. And then in midfield, there's a few. I mean, there's Pizzilli coming through. Yeah. I mean, Locatelli, Pellegrini, Bescianini. There's these players, but again, are they better than the players that are already in that midfield squad? Maybe Casadei probably hasn't, again, like Maldini, hasn't done enough to warrant a call up. So
Cesare Casadei, I mean, it's clear that they believe in him and they wanted to kind of give him this kind of what it is to be in the national team. I think it was that kind of a call up. It was more watch and see and learn kind of thing, experience. And I don't have any problems with that, because I think you need to ease players into a national team. So I have no problem.
Scalvini as well is the other one that hopefully once he gets fit, we hope that he can.
If he gets fit,
we hope that he can
rush him back.
Yeah,
which would be nice for a change.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think most of the team kind of picks itself, to be honest.
No, for sure. We have to qualify, and if we don't qualify, then.
Okay, sorry, accidentally.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody heard that that's listening. But
they did. I accidentally hit something there. Sorry. It's this thing. I need to, every time we record, I need to close it down because it's got this stupid it's got this stupid sound effects on there, and sometimes you want to move things around on your screen and you accidentally hit these stupid sounds. Sorry about
that. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I think that's our cue to move on.
Yes, that's the world's way of saying we need to move on.
We need to move on. So